You guys know that I'm pretty good with AI, artificial intelligence.
No,
I did a lot of the pictures in the leadership book with AI.
it's awesome.
Like I would say, give me Kennedy in the Oval Office eating ice cream.
It's awesome. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's easy. Well, I mean, I don't know that it's easy. You got to play around with it.
It does most of the work, but you got to guide it in the right thing. Mm-hmm. I've seen some pretty fascinating writing that it did.
I got really good at it with the pictures, but only because I worked at it. It wasn't easy. There are some nuances to it.
Yeah.
But it is fun.
Yeah.
So how is AI going to change our industry? And I think this comes in many forms, because there's kind of there's the marketing aspect, the customer experience, and then the internal stuff, right? So when it comes to techs, how do you think it's going to change for the technicians, for them and them using it as a tool?
Man, I don't know. I think this will be one of those things that, you know how you watch some of those videos now about people in the early 90s talking about the internet and just how funny it is to listen to them talk about it. I think this will be one of those things where we look back on it and you're like, oh man, but I think for
like you used to have to submit a request to the manufacturer and then wait for somebody to read it and then reply with a bunch of things that you already did, restart it.
So I definitely think the conversation will be, different than what we think it is right now, but that would be my hope, I guess. So in thinking about it, I think about what I would like for it to solve, and that's definitely one of the things is just to be able to streamline stuff. Like a lot of techs today, and have for a while now, feel like, at least working in the dealership world, your hands are kind of tied behind your back and you're asked to fix the car, right? Like sometimes you just, like you said, you're emailing or submitting a whatever kind of pre-approval case or PUMA case or whatever it is to try and get authorization for this thing. You know what the car needs, like you have it all there. And so for it to be able to facilitate some of that stuff, I also think like, it taking the data that we have and using it to where it can give me educated guesses on problems that I'm having with diagnosis, taking stuff and organizing that in some way. Cause there's really not a great one of those out there. Like the ones that exist are kind of not a whole lot better than going and sifting through stuff on Reddit and saying, okay, this guy said this, was happening. And that's kind of the problem I got. So it's a lot of like trying to, connect dots. And so I think AI can, take a lot of that data for a tech and organize it in a way that's pretty useful. And I was just kind of playing around with it too. Like I would, ask ask what the fix was for things that I already knew. So I'd take like an old BMW and say like, hey, on this year model, I got this '06 BMW 330i that's doing X, Y, and Z. And like you said, you kind of got to know how to ask the right question to get the right answer. But I mean, all in all, it's pretty good. So I think I think there's already, on one of the last episodes, there was a tech did you see that comment? He had said like, hey, I've already tried AI, and he kind of had the same experience I did, where he was using it, just to kind of test it. He already knew the answer. And he's, kind of the same conclusion. You can use it. It's a little clunky and you kind of got to force it the right direction, but it's pretty spot on. It's interesting.
My thought is that it could level out the playing field a little bit, because if you really think about the last 30 years of cars, the technicians just gotten thrown under the bus, right? Because they've gotten so technologically advanced. At least there's something where the technology actually is going to work for the techs as opposed to working against them, because they, so much has to do with the computers and everything like that. I think that it's got to develop a little bit more based on what, you kind of found and everything. But I think there's a world where it's going to level the playing field. And I think that reduction of diagnosis time and then, troubleshooting and doing like the old fashioned steps 1 through 5, man, if you could get to that thing without going through 5 steps, that's efficiency.
You could contend that there is a world where they're more just replacing parts.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of Service Driving Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.